the Garmin Venu. Well, I really don't like that watch, but I'll try to remain neutral. Well, let's go. So yes, the Garmin Venu. First I have to say that I'm a hiker, I'm a walker, I'm sometime a runner, and I'm a biker. And well, I use most of the time bigger watch. But well, I give myself the mission to try every watch possible, so that's what I do. And I told myself that I would try a more maybe feminine watch just to try. That's the watch my girlfriend choose, and so that's why I pick it. So I tested for one charge and I took some note. I have some experience in the watch, as you can see. Actually, I've tested them all, and here's my review for this one. The first point is a positive point. The watch is very lightweight. I'm used to bigger watch that weigh a lot more. So when I put this one on my wrist, well, it feels like nothing. Maybe if you're not used to watches, like my girlfriend is, actually she wears it since 2 or 3 weeks. At the beginning she felt it, but at some point it kind of vanished. You stop feeling it. It's lightweight. It's feel like nothing really. My next point is a very negative point. It's the thing I dislike the most about this watch, and it's the touchscreen. But maybe it's just me. I hate touchscreen. I don't like touchscreen. So especially on a watch, because it's small. It's small to be a touchscreen. So if you are on the main screen just like that and you try to navigate from a widget to another, well, that's fine. It works well. It works well. But when you felt on a page like this one, where there is 5 options, or maybe 4, and you need to touch one of them, well, it might not end up. You see, actually, I thought I pressed the orange one, and I felt on to the other one. So just when you need to navigate into menu and you need to select some tiny things, it gets frustrating because you press on something and it just press on it press on something else. I don't think I think the touchscreen is a great touchscreen quality. I just think it's too small to be a touchscreen. It's just because of that. Because you see, when I touch it, it reacts very well, and you know, I swipe from left to right. There is no lag. It just works. But it's small to be a touchscreen. The other thing about this is that if you want to go out when it's raining, it's terrible. It's not as terrible as I thought it would be, but it's terrible. The great thing about the rain is that, well, it doesn't remain on the screen. It's just go away. So that's great. But still, if you put your finger on it, well, it take the experience worse because it kind of weirdly reacts, like if you use your phone underwater. That's what happened with it. If you take your shower with it, it's fine. You can take your shower with it. It's good for up to 50 meters underwater. That's fine. But you will see that your watch will do some weird stuff, like if you are acting with it, but you're not. It's just the water that is acting with the watch. So again, that's one more negative point about the touchscreen. And the other negative point about the touchscreen is that it makes your screen gross. I don't like to have, I like I like my screen when it's just spick and span, and that never happened with it, because you have to do your stuff with your finger. So yes, it looks like a phone screen. You need to clean it very often. The next point is also a negative point. Don't worry, there will be positive one. I just take them in note in order I realize them. There is not a lot of sport mode. So when you want to do a sport, you go into start, and then you have your sport. You got walk, pilates, breath work, run, treadmill, indoor track, bike indoor, walk indoor, swimming pool, golf, ski, snowboard, XC classic ski, stand-up paddleboard, strength, cardio, yoga, elliptical, stair stepper, row indoor, and navigate. And that's all you have. Just for the example, I do a lot of hiking. The option is just not there. I mean, it's not essential. I can go hiking and put it on walk mode. That will be fine. But it's just that at the end, when you're looking on the app and you want to find an activity you did some month ago or years ago, and you remember it was a hike, well, you look for a hike on the Garmin Connect app, and this watch will record a walk or something like this. Or if you do walking and hiking, maybe you don't want the same information on the watch, so you will want to calibrate it otherwise to get the information you want when you walk and when you hike. So yes, that's another small point. But if you're looking to get this watch and the only thing you do with it, it's, I don't know, walking and running and yoga, well, that's totally fine. It's up to you. I told you at the beginning, it's not a watch for me, so I just have to tell you those points. Oh, I need to come back on the screen. The screen of this watch, compared to any other watch you see at the back, is different. You see, when you look at a watch like this one, the screen is a little bit more flat. The color is not, they're just flat, and that's fine to me. They do the job. And this one is a very beautiful screen. The color is wonderful. It's bright. Seriously, the screen is beautiful. But yes, it's beautiful, but it comes to a price. It seems to be the same kind of screen you have on a smartphone. And because of this, it drains a lot of battery. And to prevent the battery drainage, well, what they do is what you just see. They shut down the screen. So if you want to see the time at some point in the day, because, well, it's a watch, you can turn it on by 3 ways. The first one will be to take it like in position I want to watch the time. So if it's just like that and I do that, well, yes, as you see, the screen turn on. If you move like that, it doesn't turn on, but if you do the face up gesture, well, yes, it will turn on. And after some time, that's something you can calibrate. It can be after it's quick, medium, or slow. The time it will turn off. Actually, I think it's on medium, or no, it's on the slowest. You can always keep. You can also put it on all time, but the battery will drain like crazy. The other option you can watch it is by double press the touchscreen, and it will turn on most of the time. Same with the face up gesture. It doesn't work every time. And the other way is just to press a button and it turn on. This one actually works all the time. But one cons about this is that, for example, when I work at my desk and I want to watch the time, I have my hand already on the desk, and the only thing I need to do is this, and actually I can see the time. Just like that. And with that watch, I have to do... I mean, that's not a good point. I mean, every watch since forever, you don't need to do a special movement to take a look at the time. And this one, well, you do. So that's one negative point for me. But there's one kind of positive point into this. I was worried about this. Actually, you see, that watch, I can see the time without backlight. And that's why the color onto this one is so wow. Because to see it, you need the backlight. So that creates more beautiful color. So you can't take a look at it if it's not backlight. So I was worried that when I'm sleeping, if I move and wear the watch, will the screen turn on and wake me up? And no, because one of the first things you do when you set up the watch is to set your sleep time. So let's say that you say there is a possibility that between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. you might be sleeping because you don't always sleep at the same time. Well, into that time frame, the face up movement or the double tap of the screen will not turn on the screen. So you will need to press a button. So if you say that between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. you don't want to see, you don't want the screen to turn on when you move it or when you tap it, well, you have to press a button to see the time, even if you're not in bed. So that's a negative point into a positive point. So yeah, the screen is not its strong point for me. But well, again, maybe if you are in touchscreen, you like touchscreen, well, it's a touchscreen, so maybe you will like it. I just don't like touchscreen. Oh, and one other thing I don't like about touchscreen is that you need to touch it. So the screen is always gross because you just put your finger on it. One more downside to touchscreen. There is one other thing that you might like. Actually, I don't care, but you have Hydratation. So actually, I find it on some other Garmin watch after I see it onto that one. But when you scroll into the activity, actually that one has been removed. But you can say maybe you want to drink, I don't know, 5 liters of water per day, and you can calculate with the watch. Maybe if you drink 250 millimeters just right now, you can press 250 millimeters and it will calculate into your day and might help you to achieve your goal of water drink per day. The next point is a negative point, and it's about the elevation. Well, it's a negative point for me. Maybe you don't care. If you're just walking outside, if you do yoga, if you do indoor activity, if you do CrossFit, those kind of activity, you don't care about elevation. But if you do, this one is the most terrible watch about elevation. Why? Because, well, it's just not there. If you want a watch that have good elevation, you need a watch that have a barometer. The barometer will calculate the atmospherical pressure and will use that information to will calculate the atmospherical pressure to tell you at which altitude you are, sync with also the GPS elevation. The watch that have a barometer will be the watch that will give you the best accuracy about elevation. There is some other watch that doesn't have a barometer but do a triangulation with the GPS to tell you at what altitude you are. That doesn't work perfectly, but at least you have something. This watch doesn't have any of this. So you don't know at what elevation you are. You don't know how much meter or foot you have climbed. You can't know it because it's just not there. At the end, when you sync your activity to Garmin Connect is the app that sync your activity to your phone or to your computer. You can sync the watch with the cable to the computer through Wi-Fi or through Bluetooth to your phone. That's a very good point. You don't need a phone, you don't need a computer, you just need Wi-Fi, or you just need a computer, or you just need a phone, or you can do all of them. That's up to you. It will sync your activity very, very fast, and it works very, very well. But what I was wanting to tell you is that about the altitude, if you go walking, running, or whatever, you go outside, when the activity will sync with Garmin Connect. Garmin Connect will look where you have been on the map and will tell you, well, that's how much meter or foot you have to climb and go down. But you won't be able to know it on the activity. There was one thing that was really annoying. You know, I work, actually I'm working. I'm sit on a chair and I talk to you. And after that, I will be at my desk and I will edit that video. So in the day, I'm not moving a lot. Most of the job I do is just right there. So yes, in the day, really, I'm not moving a lot. And the watch was telling me about 5 to 10 times a day, you should get moving. Yeah, go move, do something, get up, do something. I don't need this. I mean, there's not a day I'm not moving. I do at least 1 hour of exercise a day, every day, no exception, since almost 2 years. So I don't need a watch to tell me to move. And by default, well, the watch do this. Fortunately, you can deactivate it, or maybe it's something you want. If it's something you want, that's great. That gives me the impression that this watch is designed to people who want to start moving, who want to start to do something, and want to have friends at their wrist to cheer them to do something, to move and keep going. It seems to be that kind of watch. So if that's what you're looking for, well, it do the job. It will tell you to move. It will tell you to get up and walk and do something. It will. It will. So yes, if that's what you're looking for, it's there. But if you're looking for a serious watch that will give you a lot of data about your activity, that's really not for you. It's really seemed to be designed for people who want to start moving. If you think you're gonna go for an activity of 10 hours or 15 hours in the day, that's really, really, really not for you. The next point that's great, but could have been better, is the information you have on the watch face. I mean, actually, that's the default one. We've got time, so it's 1:52, and we're Friday 12. That's the only thing you have. You can modify those information by going into the menu, watch face, edit, data, and actually on this one I can only add one more information, but there are some that you can put up to 4. And so you can have the time. Well, the time will always be there. You can have the battery percentage. You can have the number of steps you have done in the day, the calorie you have burned, the seconds, the intensity minute of the day or the week maybe. Intensity minute is when your heart is going above zone 1, I think, or maybe go into zone 1. And if you go into zone 3, maybe it will start to count as double intensity minute. You got your body battery. That's something Garmin evaluates on your body. So if you should feel tired, well, you will know. Your stress level, your heart rate. So again, Saturday 29. So the day of the week and the day of the month. We've got the outside temperature, the calendar. So if you have an appointment on your phone, it might tell you it on the watch, and you get the next occurrence about sunset and sunrise. So that's stuff you can have on the watch. So you can have up to 4 information. Maybe you don't care. Actually, I like that on my Garmin Tactics. I have the time, the day of the week, the day of the month, the altitude, the sunset time, my actual earth rate, the outside temperature, and the battery percentage. Just right there. I don't have to press anything, and I have those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 information just right there. This one will be limited to 5 with the time, or 4 without time. So yeah, that's great, but that could have been better, especially because there is place to put more information. One more thing I don't like about the watch is how it show you the remaining battery. It will only tell you the battery percentage remaining. So actually there's remain 92% of battery. That's the only thing I can know. Well, if you doesn't have known anything other than this, that's fine. But when you look at some other Garmin watches like this one, I know that there is 10 days of batteries left. How much percentage? I don't care. I can go see it. Actually, it's 59%. So 59% on this watch give me 10 days of battery. And if I start an activity, it's different, because when you start the GPS, it will drain faster. So if I start an activity, I will know right away that it remain 35 hours of battery on GPS. With this one, well, actually, I only know that it remained 92%, because that's the only thing it will show. That would have been great if the watch told you it remained 2 days, 3 days of battery, or 5 hours of GPS. That would have been great. Speaking of battery, well, again, it's not great. I wear it for one charge. I do an activity of between 1 hour and 1 hour and a half in GPS mode every day. So it took me 4 days to empty the battery, and during those 4 days I was wearing the watch 24 hours a day. I wear it all night, and yeah, so it keep me on for it was good for 4 days and 5 hours of GPS. So into that 4 days I wear it 24 hours, and there was 5 hours of those 96 hours that was GPS. At the end, so I stopped wearing it when it was remain 9% of battery, because at 9% I was worried that it won't make my activity. My activity was only 1 hour and a half walk, and I was sure it was not enough. So, and because I was not able to see how much time that 9% gave me, well, I judged it was not enough, and I'm pretty sure it was not enough. My girlfriend used it since about 2 or 3 weeks, and she also do 1 to 2 hours activity a day, sometime inside, so no GPS, and she need to recharge it every 4 days. So, well, still, it's better than an Apple Watch, but some watch will get a better charge. The next point is about the heart rate. You see the light? That's what I want to talk about. Well, the heart rate seems to be accurate. I mean, compared to other watch and how I feel my heart, it feels accurate. It feels very accurate. So that's a good point. And the other thing about the heart rate, when you got it on your wrist, as you have seen, it does some light. So if I wear it a bit, it will do some light. In the day, you don't care about this. In the night, that's another story, because if I will always compare this with the Suunto 5. The Suunto 5 do so much, but so much light. It's like a flashlight. So if you don't wear it tight on your wrist, it will wake you up at night when you will see those light. It's really like a flashlight. This one, well, it's fine. But you have to wear it a bit tight. Not at the point that your hand will turn blue, but you just have to wear it with no loose. If you have no loose, you'll be fine. You won't be wake up by it. But if you want to sleep track, this means if you want to sleep track, this means you have to wear it on your wrist all night, and you don't want to be wake up by this. If you want to have a very loose watch like this, for example, it's not a good idea. You will be wake up by the light. It do a lot of light in a dark room, for sure. So that's a thing to keep in mind. And about sleep tracking, I don't know, when I test it, for the 4 days I wear it, it never tracked a single night. I tried to reboot it, I tried to see if the firmware was up to date. Everything was syncing perfectly. My heart rate was synced. I have my 24 hours a day sync of heart rate, but it never get my sleep track. I don't know why, but when I give it to my girlfriend, I reset it, and for her it works perfectly well. Since the beginning she have her sleep track. And the sleep track is actually good. You have 4 steps of sleep track. You got the deep sleep, light sleep, REM, and awake. So yeah, it do a great job when it works. Now about the band. Actually, I prefer the nylon band, but for a silicone band, it's very good. It's comfortable. I never get to a point that I want to remove the watch because my skin doesn't breathe enough. And well, it's very good. I have no complaint to do about the watch, and you can even replace it quite quickly. It's not like the quick fit one on some other Garmin watch, but you can remove it just like that, you see. And to put it back, you just, well, it's not this easy, but still it's kind of great. Well, this might be easier when you're not doing it in a position to be seen on camera. And if you have nails, also that help. There we are. So yeah. The band are great, but just great. Are not super great, or just great. Now let's come back to the screen. Again, I remember I told you a bit at the beginning about it's look like an Apple Watch, but it's not like an Apple Watch. The screen of the Apple Watch goes up to the edge and even beyond. This one, maybe you can't see it very clearly, but it doesn't go that far. You see there's a black bezel all around, so that's where the screen stops. That's fine. That's fine to me. I don't really care about this. What I care about is the scratch resistance of the watch. And this one is only Gorilla Glass. And Gorilla Glass, in my opinion, is not good for a watch. I mean, it's fine. It's better than some other cheap watch, but actually it's already scratched. When I wear it for my 4 days, it doesn't get a single scratch, but my girlfriend managed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scratch and some other tiny one. Fortunately, yep, there is no one actually on the screen. They're just under it. They are over the bezel, but that's only in 2 or 3 weeks. So I wonder what the watch will look like in a year. Personally, when I buy a watch, I always make sure the watch is sapphire crystal, because it's just not scratchable unless you take a diamond and force on it. Well, at this point you might scratch it, but I wear a sapphire crystal watch since 2013, and never scratch a watch. And I give them the opportunity to be scratched many times. So yeah, no, just know it. When you wear a watch, it's impossible that you don't knock it somewhere a few times a week, or maybe a day, depending on what you do. My girlfriend actually only work just like me at her desk, nearly above my head, and yeah, it's scratched in only 2-3 weeks. Can't believe it. It's not sapphire crystal glass. I mean, it's not, maybe it's not this bad when you pay $200 some for a watch, but when you pay $1,000 for a watch, of course you don't want it to be scratched. But still, I think even at 250, or I don't remember the exact price. You can see it with the description down, with the link in the description down below. But yeah, I don't like it. Speaking of the link into the description, if you want to buy the watch or another watch, you can buy it with those links into the description. Actually, it doesn't cost you more, and I do a commission out of it, and this will help you to buy more watch to do more reviews. So I really appreciate it if you use the link in my description to buy the watch. Let's come back to the battery. One great thing about it is that it's get charged pretty quickly. So from fully empty, it will get to 100% into less than 90 minutes. It's kind of fast. Okay, the next point is terrible. It's about navigation. And it's terrible because there is a navigation tool in it. They should just not have put it because it's not accurate. When you use a watch, if you're new to the watch world, there is some watch, just like this one, that can give you, that's the Garmin Tactics, by the way, that's a watch that can give you a full navigation. You can see the topography, you can see the street, you can go to a point and the watch will tell you on what street or trail to turn to reach your point. With the shortest distance or with the less climb, it will give you a lot of information. Or you can also track back, so if you want to come back on your feet, it can do it. Or it can also tell you, well, you start your activity 3 kilometers away in that direction. This watch, the Garmin Venu, only do your car is 3 kilometers away into that direction. But I try it 2 or 3 times and never, ever it give me the right direction. And I'm pretty sure of it because I was coming back home and I was not really far from home. Actually, the 2 or 3 times I tested, I was a bit beyond 1 kilometer away from my home, and I was asking to come back home. My home wasn't to that direction, but it told me to go into that direction. So if I was 1 kilometer away from my home, the information about the 1 kilometer was perfect. I was really 1 kilometer away from my home, but it wasn't telling me to go into the right direction. And with most of the watch, it won't tell you at the very precise degree into which direction you need to go. There's a gap. Maybe it will be, let's say, up to 10 degrees off, or in very worst case 15 degrees off. But this one actually was almost all the time 180 degree off. So yes, that's the opposite direction. So it's terrible. And it's not because I wasn't looking the arrow into the right direction. Sometimes it was 90 degree off. And 90 degree off was actually the best it get. The 2 or 3 times I tested, it was terrible. Terrible. So they should remove that option from the watch if they are not able to make it work properly. Maybe you don't care about it. If it's not something you will use, well, you don't have to care about this. But they should not put this feature in the watch if it's not working properly. Because if you're lost in the woods and you want to come back to your car and the watch actually take you into the opposite direction, it's terrible. It's terrible. Next point. Okay, this one is a small negative point. It's just the button. There's 2 buttons, and most people wear the watch on the left hand. They should put the button on the left side, because you want to use the button with your thumbs right here, because it's more comfortable to press the button with your thumbs than with your index. It just work better in my opinion. So if you're a lefty and you wear it on the right, that's perfect for you. But if you're right-handed, well, just know it's not that bad. It's just a little tweaking that I think they could make. Okay, one more negative point, and it's not that negative. It's just because, well, when you look at the competition, it's the same. But when you look at other Garmin watches, I know they can do better, so that's why I complain about it. The data field when you are into an activity cannot be changed when you are into the activity. And again, that's how it works in most watch brands. But with Garmin, usually when you start an activity, if you want more details, you can add it while you are into the activity. So the way it works, when you start an activity, by default, the watch will give you some data fields. It can be, if you go walking, it can be the distance you have walked, the number of steps you have done, the time of the day, and well, let's say that's it. If you want, you can go into the settings and you can add some more stuff. You can add the sunset time, you can add the timer, and you can add your average speed. But let's say that at some point into your activity, because when you choose what you want, you save it, and when you start your activity, every time you will start your walk, that's the information you will have. But if at some point you will want to add an information like your pace or the compass, well, you can't have it because, well, you didn't choose to have it before your activity. And that's bad. Well, I mean, especially when you know that all other watch I try from Garmin can do it. Not this one. So you have to pick carefully the information you may want to have eventually into an activity. Otherwise, if you want it, you will need to stop your activity, save it, change the information, and restart a new activity. So if you are on a 15 kilometers walk, well, you will have to combine those 2 activities to know how much everything, how much you have walked, how much step you have done, how much calories you have burned. You won't be able to add it into a single activity just because of this. Another thing about during an activity is that you can't come back on the watch face. Some of the Garmin watch can do it, like the Tactics or the Phoenix, I think, but all the others can't do it actually. But it's something that is possible on those bigger watch. Well, it's not that bad, but let you the ability to come back on the main screen will let you screen through the widget to know, well, actually the outside temperature or the next hour temperature, or how much step you have done in the day. So let's say that you have a goal to do 10,000 step today, and you know that into your activity you are now at 5,000, but you didn't look before the activity how much step you have done. Well, you can't know how much step you had done through your watch. unless you quit the activity. So save it, go see it, and restart a new activity. You can't know. So that's one more thing to know. Now, one great point about it is the USB cable. Garmin used the same USB cable. It's a proprietary, is it the way we say it in English? I don't know. It's the cable only for Garmin device. And it's a very good cable because they all have the same connector, the same cable since many years, and you just connect it and it works very well. It's connected. It's disconnected. You can put it on both sides. It's connected and it works very well. On the other side, though, it's still a USB-A. I would like that someday they pass to USB-C, but well, that's still okay. I guess that when they will do it, that will be easy to replace. But well, the USB cable is awesome. It just works well and connect easy, and it's do its job. So that's great. Now, my confidence level into the watch is low. I mean, I never had a bad experience, though I only use it for 4 days. But I think it's mostly about the touchscreen. I'm worried that into an activity I do something by touching the screen that will stop and erase my activity. That's something I worry. And every time I did arrive at home and stop my watch, the way you need to save the activity is by swiping up to save or swiping down to delete. And actually, to delete you have to do it twice, but still, I don't like it. I really don't like it that at the end of an activity, the touchscreen can be, well, actually one time I almost deleted an activity I was just done because of the touchscreen. So, no, there's a huge lack of confidence into the watch. And that's something I never had with any other watch. My link of confidence into all those watches is great, super great. And with this one, it's terrible. I just don't want to lose an activity. Maybe you don't care about it, but I do care about it. I don't want to lose an activity I done. I want it. I just want it. I want it to be recorded. I want it to be accessible one day if I want to see where I have been that day. I just don't want to lose it. And the last point is just something weird I realize, and it's about the compass. You know, when you want to go north, south, east, west, whatever, it's weirdly expressed, especially when you think that the watch is built for beginner people. The compass only expresses in degrees. So it will never tell you, well, you're going north, or you're going east, or you're going northeast. No, it will tell you you're going at 0 degree, or 155 degrees. And I don't know if it's accurate. I didn't verify it. I may think it's not accurate because it wasn't telling me to go into the right direction when I wanted to come back home. But I think it's weird. I think it's weird because you have to know that 0 degrees north, 90 degrees east, 180 is south, and 270 is west. You just have to know it, but I think it's a weird way to express the direction for newbies. So yes, that's it. That's all the point I record for that watch. Is it a watch I recommend? Absolutely not. I think there is a better watch on the market, and even at Garmin. I mean, if I take the Instinct, I know it's ugly. It's really ugly, but I think it's cheaper or about the same price, and it do so much more. You have so many information. I have a huge confidence into the watch. You can have a lot of data. There is a barometer. The battery handle it so much more times. The interface is simple, but it do the job. It's strong. It doesn't have a sapphire crystal glass, but the screen is so deep under the bezel that it helps. It will help to not scratch it. It's built like a tank. It's cheap. Seriously, this watch is awesome if you want to go into the same price range. There is that one that is also very small. That's the Forerunner 55. No barometer, no sapphire crystal glass, but 9 days of battery with 12 hours of GPS. It lasts so much longer. I love the screen more. It will not give you so much more information, maybe a bit, but it's just better in my opinion. And actually this one is cheaper than this one. And if you want to go for a watch that will give you everything, the Tactics or the Phoenix is actually my personal favorite watch. But not everybody want the same watch, so I understand why they do this. If you like touchscreen, if you like beautiful color on the watch, and what you're looking for is not the most precise information and deep information, and you just want something that will motivate you to move and do some activity in the day and keep you motivated, well, maybe it's the watch for you, but it's just not something that I do recommend personally. So that was it for the Garmin Venu. I will have very soon that video about how to choose the right watch for you. We will go deeply into a lot of details. You should like that video. So it will be available just right here when it will be available. In the meantime, if you want that watch, you can see the link in the description. Again, it's the same price for you, but I do commission out of it. So if you use it, thank you very much. So this is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if you need help to find this product online, please see my links in the description. And finally, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can find me back easily next time you're looking for a great review video. See ya!